Hey, effing true followers and members of the YWC. Brian Crazy here.
JC Styles.
And we are effing true wrestling. But you already know that. Do you?
I already know, because we made the channel, fool.
I like it.
They're subscribed to us. Anyway,
and if you're not, click the button above.
That's the little yellow tab that says subscribe.
SUBSCRIBE.
Pretty soon, we hoping we can make partner and we can change the color and banner and everything that says subscribe to us. But this is our TNA Impact review for 6/2/2011.
Yes, it is.
And we kind of start off the show like impromptu with Velvet Sky getting her butt kicked by ODB.
Which is kind of a continuation from the angle from previous week. We see post-match after a Winter Angelina Love beatdown yet again. Or was that Sarita and Rosita? I can't remember. But ODB comes out and basically houses Velvet Sky.
Yes.
And so we see it continue tonight on Impact.
We keep hearing, it's your fault, I lost my job, I'm no longer wrestling. She's smacking Velvet on the ass, which was fucking sexy as all hell. But anyway, and we just see like a vicious beatdown on each other. They're slamming each other on walls, tables, and hitting each other with things that aren't like mounted down, and then kind of just see it come to an abrupt end with security stepping in.
Yeah, just break it up, and there's the end of that angle.
Yeah, pretty much until next week.
Into next week, which hopefully we'll get to see these two square off.
Yes.
Next segment of the night.
Next segment of the night wasn't it Miss Tessmacher versus Angelina Love?
No, something happened in between there. Oh, we had the thing with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan.
We see Eric Bischoff talking on the phone. He's going over the paperwork that he was served by, I guess it was the TNA network.
Well, I don't even think he actually read the paper. I think, because remember they opened it kind of at the end of the night. I think he was just speculating that he was going to be canned from his position within TNA, which I'm going to break it real quick. Okay, this is the part of the storyline I just don't understand. Okay, it was Dixie Carter's, in storyline, it was Dixie Carter's company.
Yes.
Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan made her sign paperwork and took over the company.
Yes.
Now, I understand that in storyline, they are supposed to now run and own TNA Wrestling. I understand to get their content out, they have to have a network, so just like TV. That's where the network can interject themselves a little bit, because without the network, they wouldn't have a damn show. But how could the network fire an executive that works for another company? I just don't see that. I don't see where this angle even makes sense in the real logical business world. No. I hate to break it down, so much. I know it's just an angle, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
How that's like me. I work for a steel company, and I'm gonna call up your job where you work at the store, and I'm gonna say, yeah, I want you to fire Joseph Cumia right now. Did he do anything? No, he's just chilling there. Okay, Eric Bischoff did do some, maybe a little, but it still doesn't make no damn sense.
I don't really understand this angle, but we got to see what the storyline happens.
Yeah.
Then we see the Miss Tessmacher Angelina Love match.
Yes, my favorite part of the night, buns with a Z.
Yes. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, this whole storyline between Winter and Angelina is just really, really, really stale. It's not doing anything. It's not even. It's making it basically like a lesbian love fest on TV.
Well, I think that's kind of the angle. I think.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, I did a I did a WWE Superstar review. Check that out. But I basically stated that I thought that the match between Gail Kim and Melina was good. But after watching the TNA knockouts, I stand by what I said. I think probably Gail Kim was...
Well, Gail Kim is one of the most phenomenal female talents to come out of the 2000s, I do have to admit. It was very good that WWE picked her up again. Kind of bad day for TNA.
Sucked.
But the match sucked, not because Tessmacher hasn't sharpened her wrestling ability at all. It sucked because Angelina's currently playing this role where she's so fucking stiff and she gets up from everything. What the fuck? Is she the Undertaker?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude, she's taking bumps and she's like... Like, I'm expecting bells to start fucking tolling and purple lights to come on. Like, okay, I understand, like, the storyline is supposed to be this, guys, if you're just catching up on TNA, if you haven't seen it in a while. It's supposed to be that Winter feels like Angelina Love is like her long-last soul partner from a previous lifetime. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that sort of thing, but in certain cultures they believe that people are reincarnated. And, so that's kind of, I guess, the gist that they're going at. And now to get Angelina Love under her control, you know, remember how she was kind of stalking her and then disappearing and she was going crazy? Now she's supposedly drugging her with those little green Skittles. And it's just, like JC said, it's starting to get stale, starting to get old. I swear I was watching the frickin' Undertaker wrestle tonight, and I think it just made Tessmacher look bad, because Tessmacher can actually wrestle. And I would have liked to just seen some knockouts wrestling, but I think we're dwelling on this just a little too much. Yeah. Next segment of the night.
Next segment of the night, we see Anderson come out and basically start talking about how he's going to be facing a mystery opponent from Sting's past.
And he comes out as the old school Sting again, this time wearing a red outfit. And dude, come on. If you saw him from a distance, you would have thought he was Sting. He just pulled it off to a T. I mean, he already had the hairstyle going for him, but with the face paint and the gear, which you can tell is a little small for him, but he definitely pulled it off. So he's gonna bring out somebody from Sting's past, and then they mention the Great Muta, and I'm like, oh my god, what a coup for TNA if they could actually have gotten the Great Muta for one night. And then who comes out? The not-so-great Muta. Even though I am going to, real quick before we jump into this, I don't mean to cut you off, I do have to say this. A lot of people, there's been a lot of flack about Eric Young lately. Go back and watch Eric Young in Team Canada. He was one of the best technical wrestlers going, and he still is. He performed phenomenally tonight. Doesn't matter what gimmick is. That's what Eric Young has done to kind of get over. He's used a whole bunch of different gimmicks. That's his style, that's his thing. But when it comes down to wrestling ability, he has a lot more wrestling ability than a lot of other people do. So
I'm not even denying it.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying that there's been a lot of flack coming from the fans about EY, and EY's a good wrestler. So I'm going to take just a second to, say what I just said. But we move into the match. EY comes out dressed as the not-so-great Muta, as he called himself, or as Anderson called him, and we actually see a pretty impressive match.
Yeah, we see a pretty impressive match back and forth. We see some really good, interesting spots. Some maneuvers that we really typically wouldn't see. And then we see Gunnar Murphy come out to try to distract Eric Young, because they've been beefing over the last couple of weeks.
I think it was just Gunnar. I don't think Murphy was out there.
I can't figure out who's who.
Gunner's the one with the long hair. Murphy's the one with the short hair, the tall guy.
So he comes out and he tries to...
it took me like 6 months.
He tried to distract Eric Young, and we see Mr. Anderson try to go for the Scorpion Death Drop, and EY winds up reversing it, and winds up pushing him away, and he spits the green mist into Anderson's face.
Oh my god.
Rolls him up.
Tell me when he didn't come out to the ring, the way he had his fingers, the face paint, and he kept touching his throat like Muta, and then he must have watched so much Muta footage this week to, pull this off, because he had the mannerisms, he had the wrestling style. Like you said, there was moves pulled out that you have not seen in 10 years since the last time you watched the Great Muta. And, funny enough, we got cut to a commercial. I threw up YouTube and I watched Vampiro versus the Great Muta on, sorry guys, lighting. Got the thing on a 5-minute delay. Usually it works really well because you don't want the power bill running all night, but when you're trying to do this sort of thing and everybody in the house is sleeping, you got to work with what you got. It was phenomenal, the match I was watching. Like I said, Great Muta and Vampiro from Monday Nitro. So, like JC said, Eric Young actually picked up the win over the #1 contender for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, Mr. Anderson, a.k.a. Old Sting.
Yes. Then we move into the Kaz versus Brian Kendrick match, which was pretty much, it was a good match.
Good?
It was probably match of the night up until the finish.
Dude. Oh my god. When he went to go for the sliced bread and the way it got reversed, and then the Ensinguri hit, and then, there were so many high impact. This was X Division, man.
Yes.
This was more than X Division. This was technical wrestling at its finest. And anybody that doubts Kazarian or anybody that doubts Brian Kendrick fucking brought it. And so the match goes to a draw.
I'm just looking at freaking seeing bugs crawling all of a sudden. We see this match
happens in the summertime up here.
We see the match come to a draw. No kind of like fallout. Like there was a fallout with Abyss come walking out.
Well, before Abyss came walking out, Eric Bischoff did order the match to restart with 5 minutes to go.
Then we see Abyss come out.
Hey, Bischoff, 5 minutes.
And then just to go back to again. A draw.
A draw, yeah.
We see Abyss come out, interfere in the match, which again, like I said, it was a good match, sucky finish. So I'm assuming that we're going to see at Slammiversary, we're going to see Brian Kendrick versus Kaz versus Abyss for the title.
Quite possibly, or we've still got 1 week to go on Impact, right? Because it's June 12th?
I think so, yeah.
So we got one more Impact before Slammiversary. So guys, check out our predictions video. Will be up shortly once we get a little more finalized in the match card.
Yes.
Can't really shoot a video on 2 matches, but funny enough, I've seen random thought. I've seen people it was probably funny, not funny, but it's probably good for them because they get views. But people put out predictions video a whole year in advance.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's what they would like to see at this event a year from now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could talk about The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28, but what else do we know it's going to happen?
Exactly.
But so that's pretty much how that segment came to an end.
There really wasn't for a company that says wrestling matters, there was just not really a lot of wrestling tonight.
About as much wrestling as a typical episode of Impact, but they're really pushing the words wrestling. They're pushing professional wrestling. They're pushing the business. They're pushing the business in the direction it should be pushed in. And I do got to give TNA a lot of credit that they are standing up. They're leaving sports entertainment to the boys up north, and they're practicing wrestling like the way it should be.
We see. I think. Well, we saw the outcome of the X Division match.
So draw. We still have no new #1 contender.
Yeah. We moved into the Bully Ray AJ Styles match. We're not going to dwell on this too much.
There wasn't even a match. They basically.
The promo.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be a match.
Yeah.
As I understood it, they were supposed to fight. Then they both end up in the ring with the promo. Basically, they trade insults, and
we end up getting a match at Slammiversary, AJ versus Bully Ray in a Last Man Standing.
In the Last Man Standing match, which Bully Ray is one brutal motherfucker. AJ Styles is the man, so it's going to be. I think it's going to be decent. I really do.
You want to take the tag match?
The big tag match of the night. This would have been your Impact Wrestling main event of the evening, which me and JC were talking back and forth during this. We cannot understand, when did Scott Steiner turn on Kurt Angle and sign with Jeff Jarrett? When did this happen? If you guys actually saw this, send us a line. I watch Impact every week, and I didn't catch this one.
No.
But, alright, whatever have you. So we see Scott Steiner team with Jeff Jarrett to go against the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle and the DNA of TNA, Matt Morgan.
We see that it was a good match, overall match. The ending.
I like the part when Morgan had Jarrett back in the corner. He kept reaching the tag towards Angle, and then Jarrett goes flying across the ring to tag in.
I see I saw this match, and it was a good match, but the finish with Steiner and Morgan in the ring, and then the segment where Karen gets pushed off the stairs.
I thought the acting was pretty good. I really have to say, of course, it's 90% I believe this is a story. I don't think this is something that legitimately happened. If it did, I really feel bad, and I hope Karen's okay. But I really think that this is all kayfabe. And basically, like JC Styles said, we saw there's a staircase. We saw Karen, we saw Kurt, and we saw Jeff.
Yeah.
And Jeff goes to push, and basically pushes them both down.
Yeah.
And
she falls off down the stairs.
And she ends up getting ambulanced out. They're trading insults. You fucking asshole. That's the mother of my children. You shouldn't have put her. Bam, just trading insults.
I told you from the beginning not to involve her. She's not a wrestler, Jeff. She's not supposed to be in the company. And then it goes to a commercial break after she's being loaded into the ambulance, and we come back, and Eric Bischoff and Hogan are walking to the ring, and they have the segment that we talked about earlier in the video with the firing of Mick Foley, which is a big, huge storyline because we all know Mick Foley is still there. He's just getting some time off.
The way Foley works in TNA is this, guys, and if you're not aware of it, we're going to break it down for you real quick. Foley is a paid per appearance deal. You know what I mean? He's signed to a contract where, very similar to what RVD is signed to. RVD last year was signed to work 52 dates, and believe it or not, he worked 52 dates, and that's why they had him drop the title and go out for a little bit, because they didn't want to burn up all the dates in 1 year, and then guess what? They've got no RVD, and a lot of people enjoy TNA for RVD.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's my favorite superstar, but I like Rob Van Dam, or as I call him, DVR, the Pot Smoking Show. CJ, ADTV, we miss you, brother. Come back soon.
We miss, yes, definitely, CJ. I want to give you a call. Probably not going to see this video, but
we'll be talking to you soon.
Yes. But the thing is, though, the whole segment, the whole thing is.
Wait a minute, I got something real quick. Remember that song, I want my MTV? How about
No.
I want my ADTV?
I don't remember that song.
You don't remember that song? But I'm sure some of our subscribers that are around our age probably remember that song. Some of the younger kids probably.
So we're watching this segment, and it's just I don't know. This could have probably given another match, or this could have been, but it's a building up for a storyline. We got to see how the finish is going to pay off. As of right now, the biggest news storyline wise of the night is that Mick Foley is fired from TNA.
Mick Foley is fired. We have no new #1 contender for the X Division Championship. Eric Young actually picked up a win over Mr. Anderson. The Knockouts match turned into a clusterfuck due to The Undertaker, and Karen Jarrett was pushed down a staircase.
And we see Steiner pin Morgan in the middle of the ring.
And we see Steiner pin Morgan in the middle of the ring. I wanted to see the Steiner recliner. I was like, Steiner recliner. I like Matt Morgan too, so that's a shame. But one other piece of TNA information that these guys might not be aware of, if you have not seen the video, it is up on our sister site, FN True Entertainment. Please go there, please subscribe, please comment, please like, please view. All those good chestnuts. But
for taglines for FN True Wrestling?
No, hold on. Check out the video. It is big news concerning former WWE diva, current TNA, knockout competitor, whatever you want to call her, Chyna. She swore she wasn't going to do something. She has done it. Big news. Check it out. What does this mean for TNA future? I know she was only paid for the couple appearances. I don't see her coming back to the company now.
No.
So, basically, like you said,
for our taglines, we're effing True Wrestling and we're effing awesome.
Either effing true or you're effing screwed, and learn to love it, because it's the best thing on YouTube today. For effing True Wrestling, Brian Crazy,
JC Styles,
and have yourselves a great night.
Bro, I don't want to be an ass, but